Right now, Jay-Z's name is all over headlines, and this time it's for being a deadbeat dad. Jay has faced many allegations over the years, with this one being one of the ones that stuck. According to this allegation, Jay has a son he is trying to hide from the world. This man has come out and for the last few years has told a story that paints Jay-Z as not only a deadbeat father, but a pedophile who hooked up with a minor. After years of Jay-Z ignoring the situation, he finally responded. But is his response the truth, or is he just trying to cover up his disturbing pedophile past? Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, I'm joined by Jose.
What's up, guys?
Today, we will be talking about Jay-Z's son, exposing him, and Jay's response to the allegation. But before we begin, I just wanted to let my Patreon members know that I'm back home and I will be posting the Patreon exclusive in the next 2 to 3 days. I actually have a lot of exclusive Patreon content coming for you guys who support what I'm trying to build, so you guys could expect those videos to be dropping soon, with one coming this weekend for sure. So if you're one of my members, be on the lookout. If you're not a member, what are you waiting for? Join the Truth Movement. It's only $3 and you will be supporting the channel and getting content that is not allowed on YouTube. Now, it's important to remember that 90% of the content I post is free on YouTube. These Patreon exclusive videos are videos that I can't post on YouTube. The subscription fee helps me cover all the expenses it takes me to make the content. So I appreciate all of who become members either on YouTube or Patreon, as honestly, I wouldn't be able to make the content I make if it wasn't for you guys. If you want to join the Patreon, the link would be in the description and in the comment section. I want to thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. Since last year, things haven't been going well for Jay-Z. He has gotten himself in several controversial situations. His relationship with Diddy got him in hot water after Diddy was exposed for being hip-hop's biggest predator, with Jay-Z himself coming into question after a woman alleged he R-worded her alongside of Diddy when she was only 13. People started saying Jay-Z was next. He would be the next monster in cuffs, facing his public judgment. Luckily for Jay-Z, his money and power helped him barely escape falling with Diddy. But right now, he's hanging on by a thread as the internet has completely turned against him. While recently things have been sort of quiet when it comes to Jay, he ended up back in the headlines after he once again got exposed, this time by his own secret son. A man by the name of Ramir Statterway has been claiming for several years that he is the biological son of rapper Jay-Z. The man claimed that back in the 90s when Jay-Z was in his 20s, he met a young girl that was between the age of 14 and 15 years old. Jay-Z would allegedly hook up with his 14 or 15-year-old even though he was in his 20s. The young girl would end up pregnant with Jay-Z's baby and eventually gave birth. This young woman raised her son with no help or support from Jay-Z, despite him becoming a successful and ultra-rich rapper. Ramir, who many do agree resembles Jay-Z, has been calling him out for years, trying to get him to take a paternity test.
Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay's your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot. I can take me being embarrassed. Like this can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair. I'm had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now. And she been saying, Sean Carter, that's what she was calling me at first before she was calling Jay-Z. And I really didn't know who that was because I was young and, you know, had my little brother and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really, this was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father, and I just want you to know. And she continued to tell me that over the years and over the years and over the years, even until I was grown. He never tried to contact me in any type of way, and that's all I'm asking. Is like, 'cause I honestly really want the case to be over with. Like I've been going through, just like I said, a lot, and as I said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person enough, and I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with.
For many years, Jay-Z didn't just refuse to take the paternity test, but he never even acknowledged the allegations, pretending like he wasn't hearing the internet talk about it. He ignored his son and his story and just moved past the allegations. But with all the recent allegations that have been made about Jay-Z and minors, the internet has started to ask some questions, especially after Ramir filed a lawsuit against Jay-Z, accusing him of ignoring his request to take a paternity test to prove if he's his father. The lawsuit also claims that Jay-Z has been using shady methods to silence his son and prevent them from exposing him. Now, this has everyone questioning if Jay-Z is really this man's father. After years of remaining silent and ignoring the allegations, Jay-Z has finally decided to acknowledge it and respond in court. Recently, he and his lawyer responded to the lawsuit filed by Ramir, calling him a liar and a fraud who is just fabricating stories. He asked the judge to dismiss the case and clear his name. This is something Jay-Z is becoming famous for, using his money and lawyers to silence anyone saying anything he doesn't like. While Jay-Z is denying this man being his son verbally, for some reason, he won't take the paternity test to prove it factually. He wants the courts to drop it so that he doesn't have to take the paternity test. I wonder why. It's most likely because he knows he's guilty. He knows he's the kid's father, and most importantly, he knows he's a PDF file. It's not a surprise that Jay-Z hooked up with a 14-year-old. We all know he likes them young. Kendrick should have made the song about Jay-Z instead of Drake, as Jay loves them young and he's always liked them in their teens. He knows that if he takes the paternity test, he's cooked. It would prove that he indeed impregnated a teenager as a 20-something-year-old, which makes him a PDF file. It would also prove that he's a deadbeat dad. Even though he's a billionaire, he chose not to take care of his son and raise him. In my opinion, the way Jay-Z is acting clearly shows his guilt. He wears it on his sleeve. He thinks using his lawyers as a shield makes him look innocent. In reality, it only shows his guilt more than ever. We are clearly seeing a pattern of behavior when it comes to Jay-Z. Every single time there's accusations made against him, instead of him addressing it head on, this is what he does every time. He has his lawyers and his money take care of the problem, but if you ask me, it only makes him look more guilty. It's clear to me that this man is Jay-Z's son. That's pretty obvious. Not only do they look alike, but the fact that Jay-Z denies and refuses to take this paternity test, it just further proves it. Let me ask you this. If they were accusing you of being this person's father, right? And you know you didn't do it, wouldn't you just take the paternity test to get it over with?
Yeah, honestly, if it was up to me, I would have took the paternity test and gotten the situation over with so that way everybody knows. And to add to that, I think this reminds me a lot of the Kathy White situation when they were going around saying that she had a relationship with Jay-Z and she was doing things with P. Diddy. And then supposedly she was pregnant. And then all of a sudden she's dead in 2011. So this reminds me a lot of that situation. And Jay-Z seems to be avoiding it rather than facing it head on. Because if you have a person going so hard at you to try and prove that they're your son and they're getting lawyers, he even went to a New Jersey lawyer and he's using the system to try and get out of it. A New Jersey lawyer basically said, hey, you have no jurisdiction here, so the case is closed. For Ramir to go after Jay-Z this hard, there's got to be something there. And for Jay-Z to not, at this point, simply take a paternity test to get, to silence the rumors, lets you know that it's definitely deeper than what we think.
We'll talk about the Kathy White in a second, but you made a great point. Why not just take it? Why not just clear up your name? Why not just prove that it's all lies? I know he's going to say, oh, if I do it for one, then I got to do it for all the rest. And there's so many people that accuse me. But that doesn't matter because this man actually looks like you. Like there is a clear resemblance. It's not like someone's making this up,
Yeah, and this guy's coming hard at you. He's making public allegations. He's getting lawyers, letting everyone know that he's gone through a lot of pain and suffering, a lot of humiliation. I believe the humiliation part because he looks like Jay-Z. So I'm pretty sure while this kid was going to school, going to college, they were making fun of him. And, it's traumatizing to know something like this could be possible. And then the person that you're bringing it to is completely denying it.
Completely denying it. Not even that, because he's completely denying it now. Before, he was pretending like the accusations weren't even made, like he was ignoring it altogether. But the thing is, if you think about it like this, I don't think Jay-Z cares that much about this is his secret son, you know? I don't think that's what's stopping him from taking the paternity test. I believe 100% what's stopping him from taking the paternity test is the fact that he hooked up with this young girl when she was only 14 or 15 years old. Now, if this turns out to be true, if Jay-Z really hooked up with a 14 and 15-year-old or 14 or 15-year-old when he was in his 20s, it gives more credibility to all the other allegations, including the allegation of the 13-year-old girl who accused Jay-Z of R-wording her with Diddy. If Jay-Z had no problem hooking up with a 14-year-old, he most likely had no problem hooking up with a 13-year-old.
Absolutely. I think that if you look at the accusations on Diddy, the fact that Jay-Z and Diddy basically had an upbringing together, success, rap, they're from the same era. So it's going to basically tie back to him. And what he's trying to avoid is basically going through what Diddy is going through right now.
100%. But that's the thing. If you didn't do any of the things that Diddy did, you wouldn't even be put in that conversation. We're not accusing Nas of doing what Diddy did. We're not accusing many other rappers of that period of doing what Diddy did. We know which ones are doing what Diddy did, and Jay-Z definitely is one of them. The Kathy White situation. Now that we know the whole entire story on Diddy and the freak-offs, and some people think Beyonce and Jay-Z were in those freak-offs, there's a high possibility that Kathy White was just another one of the Jane Does or the Cassie, but for Jay-Z, you know? Kathy White could have been just another freak-off girl that they used for the freak-offs, not really his girlfriend. She then ended up pregnant by Jay-Z somehow, and then she starts talking about it, putting it out there, because that's what happened. You know, she announced her pregnancy, and she was kind of hinting at the fact that it was Jay-Z's baby. And a lot of people think that Beyonce has made literal diss tracks towards Kathy White. And then, like we all know, she mysteriously died. Her death to this day is looked at under a microscope because it clearly seems like someone put a hit on her and took her out. Let's examine how Jay-Z has been behaving. With the whole 13-year-old allegations, I spoke about this a lot of times. I didn't get the sense that Jay-Z was furiated about being falsely accused. I got the feeling that Jay-Z was overreacting because he was so guilty. Do you understand? You know when you get caught doing something and you try to like explode on them and try to like shift the blame and everything, you know?
Yeah, you get very defensive, I didn't, how can you accuse me or something like that? But, let's talk a little bit also about, Kathy White. She was 29 years old and reportedly died from an aneurysm. That is very suspicious. That's not common for a person that's in good health and things like that to die from an aneurysm. Everybody's talking about that was foul played. We all know that there was a secret relationship with Jay-Z and her while they were working together. So it's been a lot of speculation. A lot of reports came out when Kathy White died, and it was all thrown under the rug. I believe Jay-Z has immense influence, lawyers and the court systems, and he uses that very well to manipulate the system. That's why he was able to get that New Jersey judge to turn down the original lawsuit when they went after him.
The Kathy White situation seems to mirror the Kim Porter situation with Diddy and Kim Porter. Kim Porter, it was reported that she was good of health, everything was fine with her, she was not experiencing any troubles, no problems, right? And then she starts writing a book about Diddy, exposing all of Diddy's dirty secrets and exposing what he did to her and to many others. And out of nowhere, she dies from pneumonia. And it's proven, you can look this up. You can induce pneumonia with certain medications or drugs. So you can literally make someone die from pneumonia if you give them a cocktail of certain prescription pills or certain medications. It'll make it look like they had pneumonia, Here we have Kim Porter mysteriously passing away, who's connected to Diddy. And Diddy is basically Jay-Z's twin. And same thing with Kathy White. Kathy White, Jay-Z has some issues with her, she's gone. In my opinion, from what I see, from everything that I can examine in this, she was definitely Jay-Z's freak-off partner. That's all she was. She was never really his girl, just like Jane Doe, who was really 50 Cent's baby mother, was Diddy's freak-off partner. They only went to these girls to have them do freak-offs, to have them do these rituals, because that's what they were. They weren't expecting more from this, they were just expecting them to be happy with the little bit of money they were giving them and to keep them quiet. But just like the Diddy situation, it came back to bite him, so did the Kathy White with Jay-Z, as eventually she ended up pregnant, she was gonna expose Jay-Z, and Jay-Z got rid of her. I believe that Jay-Z is 100% guilty when it comes to the situation with this kid. I believe that he could definitely be his father. 100%. It wouldn't make sense to go so hard to try to like shut him down and all this and ignore him if there was no truth to it. He could simply just take the paternity test. But like we know, it's much deeper than that. If he takes that paternity test, he's guilty of not only being a deadbeat father, but also being a PDF file, you know?
I think they said that there was a judge that is actually going to make Jay-Z take a paternity test. So I don't know if that will actually happen or not, but I would love to see this come to light sooner or later.
That would be amazing, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jay-Z finds a way out of it, because that's what he does every single time. That's what he did in every situation. You know, he sued Tony Busby. Luckily, they dropped that lawsuit for Tony Busby, because obviously you can't sue a lawyer claiming he was trying to extort Jay-Z when he's just a lawyer and send a demand letter on behalf of his client demanding a settlement before it went to court. If that was the case, every single lawyer in the United States of America should be called an extortionist, because every single lawyer in the United States of America sends a demand letter on behalf of their client. That's literally every single case. Every lawyer tries to settle a case before it goes to trial. That's 100% true. No lawyer really wants to go to trial. That's just more work, more money spent. You know, it's not guaranteed. But a settlement is a guaranteed amount. You avoid the years of battling in court and all that. But Jay-Z tried to flip that and use it as ammo. Oh, you see, he's trying to extort me. That's not extortion. We are witnessing the biggest cover-up in the world right now with the Epstein situation. The biggest cover-up in the world. If they can cover up something as big as what Epstein did and all the people that were involved, which I just covered in my last video, a person with money can get anything covered up. Just like Jay-Z's gonna get this covered up. And we're seeing this. When you have money, you have, you know, Masonic power behind you, and you're a shaker and a mover, someone with so much power and influence. These accusations, they get thrown away for you. You don't even gotta do much. Nobody is willing to talk out against Jay-Z, or nobody's willing to, you know, accuse him of anything. Same thing like before all the allegations came out on Diddy, everyone was hush hush. And everybody knew Diddy was a weirdo, but they just accepted it because he had so much power. It wasn't until the elite, the higher ups turned on Diddy, that other people felt comfortable to come out and expose him and call him out.
And you know what's crazy too is that a lot of people are saying that Blue Ivy could be Kathy White's baby, because they, you know, she was pregnant. And then, a few days later, after, you know, Blue Ivy was born, was when, you know, Kathy White died.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, because remember, we're dealing with occultists, satanic people. As much as people think that that's a cliche or whatever, this is something that Jay-Z has never hidden or try to deny. You know, this is something that he fully embraces. And to think about it, remember the whole entire video that used to show Beyonce with the fake pregnant belly, how she'll sit down and the pregnant belly would fold like it was, you know, a fake belly. It wasn't real. And a lot of people called her out. This was huge back in the day. A lot of people were saying that she was faking her pregnancy and all that. So 100%. Now it makes perfect sense. Maybe they had Kathy White have the baby in some weird ritual or whatever thing they had going on, and then they got rid of her, you know? These celebrities are operating in a complete different world. I know me and you or a regular person wouldn't do that. We wouldn't steal someone's baby or take someone's baby and then get rid of them. But these people who are operating in a darker world, in a sinister world, that's common. You know, that's something that actually does happen. That's something that they're willing to do. Especially a celebrity who doesn't want to be really pregnant or something, you know? We're going to end this one here. We're going to keep our eyes on the story. We're going to provide you guys with any updates. Like, I believe 100% Jay-Z is the father. I want to know what you guys think below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to Jose's channel, What's the Word? Subscribe to our second channel, Truth Network. And we're going to have more content coming out for you guys soon. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace, y'all.